Yo, 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 hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna talk about Dark Knight. Now, for those of you that know me, watch the stream, watch the content. All right, I have some major fucking issues, and I got some bad news, boys. They didn't change any of those major fucking issues. So I don't know who the fuck is playtesting Dark Knight. I don't know who the fuck is the design genius behind Dark Knight, but they need to be fired. Hire Zeems. Hire me. I'll fix this shit up. Okay, all jokes aside, Dark Knight, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it didn't get what it needed, in my opinion. I think it's gonna play virtually the same as it does now. I think it's still gonna be good, but I think it's still gonna be fucking annoying in certain aspects. We're gonna get into the shit that I really wish that they would have changed. The other tanks, like Paladin and Warrior, also Dark Knight, they have the stack system reworked. So basically on Delirium, now it's 3 stacks. Rec is now 5 stacks. Inner release is 3 stacks. So basically my point here is that they took off the duration. Well, there is a duration, but it's so long that it's not gonna matter. It basically is just a stack. So whenever you do that particular GCD, whether if it's Atonement, Fell Cleave, Decimate, whatever, Blood Spiller, it removes a stack. So that's really good. That's a very, very good way to do this. However, the one ability that needed that the fucking most was Blood Weapon, and it still is on a fucking duration. The fact that this is on a duration just blows my mind. Why couldn't they just make this 5 stacks? Trying to hit 5 GCDs under a slow skill speed, or while you're AoEing, which I'll get to that in a second, is like virtually impossible sometimes, especially if your ping is bad. So Blood Weapon, unfortunately, remains the same. It's just a fucking meme, dude. This really sucks. I really hope that they change this and give it 5 stacks instead of 10-second duration. There literally is not a single reason why this should be on the duration, because it only affects your weapon skills. It doesn't affect auto attacks. So at least with Inner Release, you could make a case where Inner Release's duration matters because, you have vengeance procs, you have auto attacks, you have that kind of stuff. But in this case, also Inner Release affected off GCDs as well. This doesn't affect off GCDs. So literally, it's just weapon skills. Why the fuck is this not on a stack? So this really fucking sucks. From that, going into the AoE, the fact that this is still a spell, Unleash, is ridiculous. Why do you get Stalwart Soul at level 72 still? This is really stupid. All the other tanks get their AoE combo sooner. Why couldn't they change this? I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me, man. This should not be a spell. This should be a weapon skill. Using your AoE under Blood Weapon is really fucking obnoxious. Just very awkward to try to AoE because the AoE is 250 recast and the GCD is, well, right here it says 246, but you're gonna have a faster GCD than this. So I'm not really a fan of this. I really wish they would have changed it. Dark Mind is still Dark Mind. I'm not a fan of this ability. I think this ability sucks. I am not a fan of damage specific mitigation. This is useless like half the time. A lot of tank busters are physical. Not saying that they're not magical as well, but a lot of tank busters are physical, so this makes it completely useless on physical tank busters. You don't really need this for like raid AoEs, because raid AoEs don't really hit tanks very hard. Living Dead is still the same, unfortunately. What the fuck are they thinking? Like, what the fuck are they thinking? I don't understand why how can you have 10-second Living Dead with Bolide being buffed to 10 seconds and Holmgang being buffed to 10 seconds? This does not make any fucking goddamn sense to me whatsoever. I am just amazed that this did not get changed. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I want to talk about TBN. I believe this ability is overhyped as fuck currently. This ability is good. It is powerful. However, when it comes to tanking in this game, you don't rely on a single cooldown. So the power of a single cooldown is significantly decreased, in my opinion, and you have to look at the overall kit. So what do I mean by that? I mean that on most damage, you just either blow all your cooldowns or you use your invuln. In a vast majority of cases, bosses don't hit the tank very hard outside of certain periods. Like the incoming damage in this game is extremely bursty. Now, I'm not saying this ability is bad. Okay, I do like this ability, but what I'm saying is bad is the fact that it is still tied to your fucking damage resource. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you've watched my other videos, you would know that Sheltron got buffed into Holy Sheltron, Heart of Stone got buffed into Heart of Corundum, and Raw Intuition got buffed into Bloodwetting. All of these abilities are absolutely fucking ridiculously strong. As strong, if not stronger, than this fucking move, and none of them use your damage resource. Also, you do not have to get the full value out of those abilities, whereas you have to get the full value out of TBN. So the fact that they did not change this is just ridiculous to me. I do not understand how they can buff Intervention, Sheltron, Nascent Flash, Bloodwetting, and Heart of Corundum, but not change this at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it just blows me away that this is still on the damage resource. But, you know, it is what it is. Is it still good? Yeah. Is it as good? No. Not in comparison. So these are the things that I was not very happy about. I was not very happy about Blackest Night. I was not very happy about Living Dead, Dark Mind, Blood Weapon. I was not very happy about Unleash being a spell still. Unfortunately, those things weren't changed. Another thing that I'm not happy about is that Salted Earth and Abyssal Drain are still in the game. I think Abyssal Drain and Salted Earth, they're just fluff, they're filler. There's way more ways that they could make Dark Knight more interesting. When you use these abilities, it really doesn't matter. The overall damage that these two abilities contribute is minimal. I think this is just a waste of an off GCD. I think this is fluff. However, for some whatever fucked up reason, instead of getting rid of them, they decided to actually add on to Salted Earth. So now, when you use Salted Earth, it procs into Salt and Darkness, which is just another damage. So they basically just added some more fluff. Unnecessary fluff. I'm not really a fan. Dark Knight got another DPS ability called Shadowbringer. This functions very similar to Dark Passenger. If you guys remember Dark Passenger, it was in Stormblood. It was in the game in Stormblood, but you rarely used it. You mostly used it in Heaven's Ward. Basically, all it was an off GCD line attack that hit everything in front of you. Now this is kind of taking the same role, except for it's on a 60-second cooldown and there's 2 charges to it. So basically just more off GCDs. I don't know how I feel, honestly, about this. I mean, I'm sure this is going to be fun to use. I'm sure this is going to be cool. There's just a lot of unnecessary off GCDs, in my opinion, man. Abyssal Drain, and then you have a combo into Salted Earth and Salt and Darkness, and then this, and there's just, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll just see how it plays. Dark Knight got 1 extra defensive, which is called Oblation, and this is literally just shitty intervention. Is this good? Absolutely not. Is this bad? Not really. Is it ever going to be bad? No. Is it ever going to be good? No. I think that this is a very medium ability. There is never going to be a good or bad time to use this. I think that this is going to be placebo some of the time. Just a reduced damage taken of a party member. What I do like about this ability, though, is how it's designed. It's on a 60-second recharge, but there's 2 charges to it. And I kind of like that. I think that's cool, man. Hopefully they do that with other abilities in the future. I think this is cool. I am a fan of charge abilities, but I'm not really impressed with this ability. I don't think it's bad, but like I said, I don't think it's necessarily good either. I think it's okay, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be fucking busted. I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see. Again, you know, I didn't go to the media tour, so I could be completely fucking wrong about this, or I could be spot on. Doesn't matter. But Missionary's still the same. Missionary's still really good. You know, you still have Flood of Shadow, Edge of Shadow. Some of the potencies are kind of scuffed, so ignore this. Living Shadow, still the same. Shadow Wall, still the same. Pretty much, if I didn't mention it, it's pretty much the same. Dark Knight got some really stupid traits. So it got this melee mastery thing I talked about in the other tank videos. I don't really see why this is even a trait. This is just kind of a system thing to me, but you know, I'm sure it's there for a reason. Enhanced Plunge, you know, that's still in the game. Enhanced Living Shadow, Enhanced Unmend, and Enhanced Living Shadow 2. So these 2 traits, they're so bad. Enhanced Unmend is reduces recast time of Plunge by 5 seconds when executing Unmend. Okay, this is the second time that they've tried to put a trait on Unmend. The first time they tried to put a trait on Unmend in Stormblood, I believe it was. But basically, whenever you used Unmend, back when Unleash actually cost mana, there was like a 30% chance or something that it would make the Unleash free. So it was completely fucking useless. You like never fucking took advantage of it. I think that this is going to be the same. You never want to use this ability in the first place. So this is my line of thinking. They put a trait on an ability that you never want to use in the first place outside of the opener, or if you're forced to disengage. When are you ever going to be in melee range and just spam your fucking Unmend? Never, right? So I think this trait is going to be useless. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Enhanced Living Shadow upgrades Flood of Shadow executed by your Simulacrum to Shadowbringer, which delivers an attack to all enemies of 450. So here's my question to you guys, and I want you to ask yourself, when you saw the Shadow, was there any doubt in your mind that the Shadow would not do your new abilities? No, right? Because I just assumed that the Shadow would just do the new abilities, but apparently not. Apparently you need a trait. I'm gonna assume that the trait's in the game so that you're not like level, I don't know what level you get this, 80, so you're not level 80 and your Shadow is using a fucking Shadowbringer. But does it really matter? Is it gonna matter that you're dealing like what, 150 extra potency on a single tick? Because all Living Shadow is a dot anyway. So is it gonna matter? I don't think so. The fact that this is in the game is just very odd to me. Like, if it feels like that they just didn't have any ideas and they just said, fuck it, let's just make it to where you're Living Shadow, let's just make it a trait. This just seems really really lazy to me. This seems like they were just so out of ideas. I don't know, man. I think that these two traits are completely fucking dog shit. That's what I feel like they're very underwhelming, and I think they were last minute decisions. I don't think that they put any thought into this. We'll see how it happens. But overall, I think Dark Knight rotation is going to pretty much be the same. You're still going to try to do the same shit, except for you're going to have three extra off GCDs. You're going to have 2 procs of Shadowbringer, and you're going to have Salt and Darkness. Do I think Dark Knight looks bad? Absolutely not. I think Dark Knight looks fine. I do wish that it would have got some needed changes, some quality of life, like Dark Mind, Living Dead, Blood Weapon for sure. TBN is you know, obviously people love this ability. I don't. I think it's overrated, but I think it should be taken off of the damage resource, especially after reading, you know, seeing Holy Sheltron, part of Corundum. This should not be tied to your damage. I think overall Dark Knight is still going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be bad at all. I think it's going to be good. Oblation, a free extra 10%. It's a free extra 10%. You can't really say no to that. That's a free t-shirt, you know? That's how I would kind of sum up Dark Knight, actually. You got a couple free t-shirts. I do enjoy playing Dark Knight a lot, actually. I think Dark Knight is a ton of fun. I just, you know, like I said, I really enjoy the class, and I want to see it be better. And I think Dark Mind could be better. I think Living Dead could be better. I think TBN could be better. I think Blood Weapon could be better. Oh, real quick, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll talk about it again real quick. Delirium is basically the same thing, except for now you get 3 stacks and it's on 60 seconds. So this is really poggers. This is a huge plus. I hate 90 seconds. That's just me personally. So 60 seconds is really good. Grants 3 stacks of Delirium. This is fine. I mean, you know, this is budget in a release, but whatever, it is what it is. I still think it's going to be fun. Underwhelming is how I would explain it. I was so hopeful for Dark Knight, and they just didn't make any of the quality of life that I wanted. Like, after seeing the other tanks have all this quality of life, it's kind of a bummer, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really big bummer to see that they didn't fix some of the stuff. The Dark Knight really need fixing. You know, it's fine, you know, just get used to it, you know, whatever. We're used to it. I think it's gonna be okay. It's just underwhelming. But yeah, anyway, man, that about wraps it up. So, yo, I'll see you guys later. Peace.